So I'm live. So a couple weeks ago, a brother said to me, I was having a conversation with a brother at Weaver's Way where I set up with my jewelry, and he was like, you know what, you should start streaming. And he said that based on the things I was saying while we was talking. And this is the brother that did my he does music videos and stuff like that. He did my video Floor Seats Freestyle. So he's very powerful as far as content is concerned and doing videos and different things like that. So he was just saying, yeah, just start streaming like for an hour. I'm not going to stream for an hour right now, but yeah, I'm getting to it. And so this is right now the Ram Richards Stream of Consciousness podcast. So I wrote some things down, to talk about, even though for the most part it's still a stream of consciousness. I'm just speaking right out. It's nothing scripted. And for me, that's what life is all about. Like, who are you consciously? Like, what type of mind do you have beyond I don't want to say structure, but yeah, just your free flow. Yeah, what is in your mind naturally? And it's been plenty of times where I'm having conversations with people and they say the same thing he said, like, yo, this should have been recorded. You were saying some great things, and that's just who I am. I've been that way for years. I pour into people, I empower people. It's all in my music. Because for me, it's all about freeing your mind. Just having a free mind, free of, well, I'm in America, so I can't really speak on other countries or other places, but it's just real crazy in America. And you have to free your mind to see it. You got movies like The Matrix, you got this other movie called They Live, but you watch these movies and you realize, like, yo, yeah, we've been so programmed and so conditioned to be slaves to this American system. And that's just, light. There's really nothing deep about this stuff. But one of my sayings is don't be the words, just be the energy. And what that allows me to do is see through what people are saying. So many people consider themselves spiritual and stuff like that, but they great at using the spiritual language, divine and divinity. They call themselves gods and goddesses, and they can have a conversation, but they don't really live what they speak in. Their energy don't really reflect that. And even with me saying the God thing, right? People be saying peace, God, or saying all this stuff, but to me, if you calling yourself a god or goddess, you should be thriving in this reality. You shouldn't be struggling. But then I see the people that call themselves a goddess and they not thriving, they struggling. And somebody might say, well, somebody I can hear somebody saying, well, sometimes you got to call something into existence. No, some things is just like, no, like you're not that. You call yourself a god, but you just as mundane as the people you talking about. They got issues. You on the same level as them, but you God, or even somebody calling themselves a goddess. Like, no, no, you toxic. Like, you so human. You nowhere near the reflection of what the energy of someone who would call themselves a god is supposed to be, or a goddess, or even, let me just speak on this, right? I used to wholesale the Gardner Letters. The owner transitioned like 3-4 years ago. And the night before she transitioned, I was about to make a wholesale deal with her for about $1,000. So I was gonna sell her $1,000 worth of jewelry. She transitioned the next day. One of the things she used to say to me was, if you gotta tell me who you are, you're not that. And at the time I'm like, huh? I heard it, but I wasn't trying to hear it. But now I get it. It's people calling themselves all kinds of things, and they not that. They don't live that. Their energy doesn't reflect what they call themselves. So yeah, one of my sayings that I created is, don't be the words, just be the energy. People can say all kinds of words out of their mouth, but their energy reflects that they not what they're speaking. And when you get caught up in the words of what somebody, if you're caught up in the words of what somebody's saying, they got you. That's how people begin manipulated all the time. A person can have a wonderful conversation and say some things to you that make you feel a certain way. And then weeks later, a month later, you're like, damn, they got me. Yeah, they got you because you was caught up on the words they were saying. You wasn't paying attention to their energy. And so, yeah, that's what I live by. So I'm able to see through people. A person be saying all kinds of beautiful words and saying things, but I'm paying attention to their energy. Their energy is telling me otherwise. Like, nah, they not what they say they are. And so, you know, I I have a lot of different conversations with people in public and but a lot of the conversations I've been having recently with people is just based on where I'm sitting with my jewelry table. I have a jewelry business. I make jewelry out of real gemstones. I make bracelets and necklaces. So weekly, I set up at a co-op out of Philadelphia called Weaver's Way, and I mean I've been there for about 4 years, but they know me from when I used to do One Step Away. One Step Away was a street newspaper that became a magazine out of Philadelphia that gave people who were mainly homeless or in certain type of situations like that an opportunity to earn income. And I started doing One Step Away in 2012, and I did it for 8 years until the pandemic shut it down. So one of the last place I was doing One Step Away at was Weaver's Way, and when they got shut down, the pandemic shut One Step Away down. You know, I wasn't doing that publication anymore. But in 2021, one of my friends said, you know what, why don't you go let Weaver's Way know that you make jewelry and see what they say about that. And so I went and asked them, can I sell my jewelry at the store? And 4 years later, I'm still there, which is very powerful within itself and a miracle. I don't know. Can you tell me any type of store for that reason, but a food market or a grocery store that's allows somebody to be there for 4 years setting up weekly? I'll wait. Well, I don't have to wait. I know for sure it's just not in this country. Like nobody's setting up their business weekly at a store to sell their products. So that's a miracle within itself, a powerful thing within itself. So while I'm sitting there, yeah, I had conversations with people, but I can't really go in. I just, keep it at a specific level. But over time, what I realized is, you know what? I don't even want to do that no more because it's a place of business. I'm there to sell my jewelry. I'm not there to have these kind of conversations unless you buying something. But people from time to time that had conversations with me, and recently over the last, it's a new Weaver's Way in Germantown, and one of the people I was having conversations with was manipulating me, right? So they would come at my table, be there for 10, 20 minutes, and I would introduce him to people who I thought would make a perfect connection for this person, only to look at it like, you know what, this person is using me the whole time. So I had to shut it down. I blocked them on all my social media accounts. They possibly, they still probably on here, subscribe to me, but I don't care. I'm not worried about how people think about me or me doing something like that because, keep it moving. Like, get out of my life. Go manipulate somebody else with your fake spirituality. And one of the things you're going to get from me on this is authenticity. I'm me. I'm not going to other people's YouTubes, coming on here to regurgitate what was said. Like AI, right? People watching all these AI videos about spirituality, and all AI is doing is regurgitating what people are saying, like me, and then giving it to you. So even if you watch some of these videos, right, you can see in the video, they repeat some things like 10 times. I'm like, yo, and people watch this. But that's how disconnected technology got people in these days and times. And I was going to make a point about something, but let me just say this. One of the acronyms for ego is edging God out. And so that's not mine, that's somebody else's. But it's just like now AI is edging God out. But people be watching these AI videos, laughing, the babies, watching these babies and all that. And a year from now, it's just gonna be like those same people are gonna be miserable and depressed because the AI that they was watching now has edged them out. They can't even find work or anything. Like they just really, or what the AI is doing is just really taking over their mind. All these AI videos, people just watching them and watching them, the AI spirituality, the AI voice and all that, giving them their spirituality that has no soul and has no spirit. Like the person listening and take it in and being programmed by this information. So one of the things, getting back to what I was about to say, is that came to my mind is, oh, spiritual matrix. People talk about the matrix, being a slave to the matrix. How about the people who calling themselves spiritual, who now I'm looking at like, oh, you caught up in the spiritual matrix. You're not even, you just about the words. They made spirituality a fad, like it's a fad, like it's just like, yo, I'm spiritual. They be wearing the gemstones and the stuff in their ear and their nose and all that. And now they spiritual. But inside, they none of that. They just externally spiritual. So they caught up in a spiritual matrix. That's my term. I never heard that nowhere else. I didn't hear nobody else say spiritual matrix. So that's coming from me. Maybe somebody did somewhere else. I don't know, but that's what came out of my mind. And that's what I'm all about. Giving you thought, my thought, new thought, not based on some AI video you done watched or people regurgitating spiritual information all day on here. No. So when you come to my podcast, my stream of consciousness, you're going to get authentic thought that's coming out of me, not from somewhere else. And that's one of them. There's a few of them I already said. One of mine is, don't be the words, just be the energy. Don't be the words, just be the energy. So you can see through people, so you can cut through the words that people are saying. And again, the other one that I just gave you is spiritual matrix. And some of the things I mean by that is, don't get caught up in people who saying they spiritual, but their actions reflect that they're not spiritual. So to me, spirituality is about community. It's in the movie Avatar. One of the things they showed was like divine being one and divine connection and everybody touching the tree and they one in divinity. And now you see out in this world, so many people saying they spiritual, but they individuals. They are independent. They are selfish. Spirituality to me it's not about being selfish. It's about being connected to the people, lifting up the people, community, communicating with your community. Is my mouth dry? So yeah, those are a few of the things you want to get from me. As far as, like I said, spiritual matrix. Don't be the words, just be the energy. And another thing, you know, there's a saying out here, right? It's been around for however long. There's nothing new under the sun. If there's nothing new under the sun, what am I? What are you watching this? Or if you tap into this? Every being, every human being, everybody here is new. Nobody on this earth has the same DNA, but there's nothing new under the sun. See, we got to destroy this outdated thinking, destroy this conditioning, destroy this programming, destroy all of the BS, destroy it. There's nothing new under the sun. I'm new, you new, we all new here. So yeah, you know, yeah, I'm not going to be on here for an hour, obviously. I've been on here for about 15 minutes, but I just had the honor what the brother said to me a couple weeks ago. Start streaming. Don't create content, just stream. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. Yeah. The Ram Riches Stream of Consciousness program, podcast. Like, subscribe, share, so we can build this thing up and really get things moving and disrupting things in 2026.